Good evening. My name is Tina, and I wanted to come here today again to talk about domestic violence. Um, Today is not going to be my story. It's actually about the hidden pain of a woman, which is the title of my videos, secondary to domestic violence. And today I wanted to talk about a woman. There are so many women in the Bible who have or had hidden pain. This week I was studying the book of Esther. I want to let you know that I'm not a pastor. I'm just somebody who loves to study the Bible. I was reading the book of Esther, and most of us who are Christians know about the book of Esther, who was a woman who was favored by God. You know, she was an orphan that was favored by God, and she married a king. After the uncle Mordecai set her up to participate in a beauty pageant, and she won the pageant. She won the heart of the king. However, as I was reading the book of Esther, I noticed a woman that I've never heard the name before. Her name is Vashti. Vashti was the king's first wife, King Ahasuerus' wife. The Bible was telling us that this lady was banned from the palace because of her disobedience to the king. So because of that, she was sent away packing to maybe back to her parents' house or wherever she may have gone. And the king then made a decree that Vashti must be banned from the palace. And then Esther stepped in, won the pageant, and became the queen. And from her favor from God, she was able to save her people. But I was wondering though, I said, who was this woman? I've never heard of this woman before. And I thought about, hidden pain of a woman. Who knows why she refused to appear in front of a king, the whole king? Then I realized that the king had a problem. The king had a drinking problem. And while he was intoxicated, he called the wife, Vashti, to be in front of the bunk where people he was his friends. And that brought me to domestic violence. The Bible did not tell us, but I was just wondering, I said, who knew what that woman was going through her mind? Who knew the humiliation the king was going to humiliate her? Even though the king, he said he wanted to show her off, but he was intoxicated with alcohol. Was he going to humiliate her in front of his friends? What was he going to do? And she said no. She stood her ground and she said no. And she said no. So she was removed from her position as a queen. And a decree was made that any woman that disrespects her husband will have to pay consequences. And that brings me on domestic violence and hidden pain of a woman who knew what she went through in her mind, like, oh no, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I've had it. Who knew how many times she may have been beaten? Amen. The Bible didn't tell us that though. I'm just over exaggerating. Who knows? So many women out there who were in Vashti's shoes. Maybe they were not queens in a palace, but they were just ordinary women like me and you, who had had to fight. Who had to fight for her own freedom, for her to be say, once enough is enough. When a husband is intoxicated, that if she says no to him, she'll be beaten. And friends, like the friends who were there drinking, will make a decree, will make charges against her. She's a bad wife. So regardless, I was just looking at it, and I wanted to just address this, because as I read through the Bible, I saw what women went through during that time, what the women were put through until Christ came, that he saved us and saved them. And the same way I'm telling any woman who's going through domestic violence today, that I pray for you. I pray for your safety. I pray for God's protection. And I also ask you that you pray that no matter what you're going through, there is a way out of it. As for me, I was rescued by God from the mouth of a lion. And I thank God for that. And I'm still saying it. There is a hidden pain in every woman, that no matter what the pain you're going through, don't let it consume you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And you just have to trust God, because he is able. He is able to take you out of anything that you may be going through. I want you to know that you are worthy of love, not of violence, and not of hate. I hope you have a good evening.